Now we can come to you, Mohammed Orman Bangura, Minister of Youth Affairs. That was a beautiful ceremony there, but let's talk about the kekes. Are these provided by the ministry, going to young people free of cost? Let's understand this.
Yeah, I've gone to the last statement. I still want to clap for me. I get for clap for me first.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Not to say I've been there. I mean, thank you very much. I mean, Phoebe and young people. The KK process, remember a couple of months ago I was here and I did make mention that we're at the verge of getting 200 KKs among so many other things. It's a business. It's a business. Gone are those days you think we can give people things for free. But at the same time, we should find a way of cushioning young people's status to ensure that we bring them to a status that will be acceptable in society. We started with 20, and out of the 20, I realized that based on discipline and the selection of beneficiaries, the way you manage things, we got like 90% loan recovery. And to me, that's a success. When you go back to this financial institution, you realize that no bank has ever got 70% loan recovery. I'm talking as a former banker though. So looking at it, I said, look, if we are getting this amount of returns from young people, why can't we create a platform where they can get these KKs and pay back? And as a Sierra Leonean, I've gone through so many things. I know very well what it takes for you to have property of that nature worth like 85 million. And I know when I was at London Mining those days, I bought a lot of bikes. In those days, there was no KK. Give them to young people, they work and pay. Every Sunday, they bring the money. You know, it's not theirs. They are just working for you. And for now, you realize that people buy KK, Tricycle, and give them to young people and ensure that the same young people will take their kids to school, back and to and fro, and they'll take them to work, to and fro, and on Sundays, they'll take them to church, to and fro, and ensure that they pay the same 1.2 million a week. So if government decides to give these young people opportunity that, look, now you're not working for no one, you're not working for anybody, you're working for yourself, and you stand a chance of being your own millionaire, you know, if we give you this opportunity, what would you do? You put your entire energy, your effort to ensure that it works. So we gave 20, we got a loan recovery, and we reach out to development partners, you know, and say, look, this is a model that works, and I have some money, and can you match up with what governments have so that we can reach a meeting point and buy this 200 KK tricycle to empower these young people? And for our development partner that is very serious, very, very development oriented, and knows the status quo in Sierra Leone and in Africa, says, yes, if you give me this amount of money, I will match up to the same amount of money that you give to me, and out of that money, I'll put the two together and send that to you, and you pay. You know, it's not common in Sierra Leone, we call that matching fund.
Matching grant.
Matching fund, yeah. I mean, I went out to the government and Minister of Finance. I did a letter, I explained to them that, look, here is somebody that has like 6 million. If you give me 6 million, we'll stand a chance of getting 12 million. 12 million, this is what we'll get, and this is the business model. And I succeeded in convincing the Minister of Finance and the Financial Secretary to say, this is a business model, it's revolving, you know, and they bought in the idea, they buy in the idea, and they send the money. That was not the only challenge. For me to convince the civil servants that this money we do not send, we are not going to send it to UNDP Sierra Leone, we are going to send it to UNDP in New York, which they don't know exactly in New York. You know, when you say you're sending money in New York, people think that you want to transfer this money somewhere for your own individual interest. We went through a whole lot for them to see reason why we should send this money to New York.
And what was that reason? What was the justification?
When you talk about matching, you need to prove to UNDP in New York to say government has committed this amount of money. And the only proof they should have is by them receiving the money, and they add up. It's not like a Sierra Leone quota. The UNDP, the global UNDP fund, they match up the whatever you have to say, okay, this is what you sent, we are adding this, then they send back to UNDP Sierra Leone to the Ministry of Youth. So it's thinking beyond the box, as His Excellency normally say, find an innovative ways of solving societal issue, think outside the box. So that's one way we realized, and we did all of that, and at the end of the day, we got the money back. It comes to the procurement, and we advertise, follow due process, and thanks to NPPA, through the director of NPPA, he explained to me, look, if you give this one to a private sector with no intention of pulling down the private sector, if you give this one to a third party, the actual cost of keke is, okay, Shalima is 65. The actual cost now is 85. If you go to the shop, you want to buy a keke, as a retailer, it costs 85. And we advertised, he said, oh, if you give to the importer, you stand a chance of getting it less. And Shalima, I mean, thanks to him again, it's a Lebanese man that I've never met before, somebody that has passion for the country, somebody that has passion for what he's doing. I met him and said, look, we are 1-200 Tricycle. And we have a whole lot of market that people think, oh, we have this Tricycle now, we have this. There are different brands. But one thing I know, TVS is one of the best. I mean, they've been in the system for far too long. And there are parts, they have the spare parts, there's a whole package given to us by Shalima. Shalima gave us the package, said, okay, we negotiate, and we got for 65 million instead of 85. So just by you getting the keke, you've made a profit because you have a minister and you have a president that knows how to run business, how to do things and take the interest of young people. You got 20 million straight up. And we advertise again to have a private sector. You know, when it comes to government, most times people think whatever government gives to you is free. And we advertise again, and we all know when it comes to transportation in Sierra Leone, you can't take off logistics, you can't take off Unimac. I mean, she's one lady that I'm very proud of. Unimac, and there's another guy in the East called Awol. 4 or 6 people applied. And at the end of the day, they went through procurement process. We did due diligence. I sent a team to say, go check if these people are really on this. Let's have a conversation and get it right. And we decided they won the contract to implement the entire keke process on behalf of government. They are getting something like 7% of whatever they recover. So at the same time, they are the ones that did the selection. They submitted bond guarantee to say, this money that we're going to collect, this keke you're going to give to us, we are giving it back to you. This is what we're going to pay. And if they fail to pay, their banks, because we've got bond guarantee, their banks will pay back to government. That is to say, out of 200, we should get in another 180 or 150 in the next couple of months. Yeah. So we question that if it's a grant or a loan, it's a part grant, part loan, because we gave them a grant of 20 million free. I mean, they are registered, maybe even above 20 million, because the registration now is about 4 to 5 million.
But how does the system work for the guys and ladies who would have access to the keke? What's the structure of that business? What's the business?
The business model is that they all open accounts, and the private sector will be dealing with them directly. What they normally do every week, the same 1,200,000 per week. Those ones that are given by other private sector, you pay, and you have all those things attached. For this one, you're going to pay 1,200,000 every week. And remember, we are doing the same 1,200,000 to ensure that at the verge of working, you have a life to live.
So that's how they do 1,200,000 every week till they pay the 65,000.
That's it. And they give 5 million upfront to their guarantors, because normally they bring guarantors to guarantee them that if they don't pay, in fact, if you don't pay 1 week, the following week they will take the keke from you. Somebody else will continue the scheme where you stop.
But one of the key aspects that is killing many businesses in Sierra Leone is that of the unavailability of equipped business development skills for many people that are into business. Does the ministry take same into cognizance, taking into account the huge sums of money that will be placed in the hands of even this private sector?
Yes, we do.
For particularly the
youth who be involved in this process? We do not just give them the tricycle. We do not just hand over them to the private sector. After the selection, we did financial training, literacy training, we did nationalism, we did a whole lot of things that, look, there is no second chance in life. Now you have an opportunity to have a loan. If you go to a bank now for 80 million loan or 85 million loan, you pay interest of 30 or 40%. Here is a soft grant that you get this with no interest, and you have part of it as a grant. If you pay full, you're sure of getting a keke. And we have success stories. So we do not just hand it over to them. They went through a whole lot of trainings, and we've been doing part training every quarter, every 3 months. We ensure that we bring them all together again. We talk. What are the challenges? What do you think government should improve on? What do you think other young people should copy from you? What are the things that we need to do to change the narrative in the city? You know, so there will be follow-up trainings, there will be follow-up calls, and I'm happy to inform the general public that the UNDP country rep Fred Ampua has also consented that we reach out to these young people, we profile them. You have some that have 3 kids, 4 kids, some that have, most of them have degrees, and some, just to ensure that that will not be your end point, but it will be a very good entrance point. How can we scale up what you're doing? If you pay fast and we know you're very serious, the next one you can have the chance of being a guarantor for somebody else. So there'll be a whole lot of scheme. And when it comes to another grant, I remember even the day before the KK, there was an exhibition for Growth Accelerator Lab. We gave $2 million grant a couple of, like 1 year ago, we gave $2 million grant. And the day before launching the program, we have an expo at Family Kingdom. So the guys came, they display what they have, but $2 million, that's huge. And imagine the cost of the kekes that we have now, and those kind of things. So we have series of other things that we are doing.
Taking into account the number of kekes and other machines that were procured, we'll talk on the fishing projects.
Yes.
But taking into account the number of kekes that were purchased, was there an aspect of warranty from, say, Shalima, in as much as these are machines?
Yes.
And anything could happen within the twinkle of time. It's one of
the best business I've ever seen. When you look at the contract that we have, they get 50% discount for every maintenance, for every part. It's not like the normal. I mean, he's really helping. Like if you have, you need to go maintenance now, you go through the Shalima garage, okay, you get 50% discount. And for all factory sets in default, we have guarantee for that. You know, because he knows exactly. I mean, those keke will not have any problem after 1 year or plus. But we have that. It's on the contract with Shalima that is responsible for maintenance. You pay half 50% or 25% or 50%. I can't recall the figure that they will pay for every maintenance, for every part that you pay.
Aside the keke, fishing is also another component that was supported on that day. Yeah. In addition to the livelihood supports that were given to many others. But again, what's the quota of women, particularly so for those who were to benefit with the keke? Because now we see ladies are into keke
then
riding.
I'll ask you, what's the quota for the grant given for the female youth-led organization that is 100% female youth-led? Let's put the whole package as one package and dissect it into gender balance. That if you have a program that takes care of 100% female as a grant, 100% grant, and you have the kekes that, yes, you have a percentage of female that participate. You have the boats, they have a percentage of female, because, I mean, we know we are very gender sensitive, but there are certain jobs, I tell you, you can take your sisters to the sea.
Is keke riding one?
No, keke, yes, you can. But when it comes to boat riding, you can spend 2 days in the sea. I mean, no woman will want to challenge that. I know we do have some that want to challenge that, but we always ensure that the boys can go to the sea, and you have a number out of the 20 young people that are in the group, you have a number like 4 or 5 that will be on the other side of value chain and value addition after getting it.
But peradventure, you have women, because now what we see is a growing trend of women, young women, venturing into male-dominated sectors.
Yeah.
So peradventure, you have females interested in going to sea. Going to sea. What's again the gender sensitivity there?
So the platform is there. The platform is there. If they want to, we are 100% ready. But out of experience, I will tell you that It's not common to have a young ladies to go to the sea with guys for 2 days. For 2 days. These are not big boats. You might have rough time. I know we have female that are doing it, but the platform is there. We've created the platform for that. For the keke, I know for sure. We are very passionate to tell the service provider that they don't compromise the 30% quota, but at the same time, we face some challenge having young people, especially female youth, to participate in that. So we complemented the area of the boats and the keke to the female youth-led organization grants. Mind you, that's one of the biggest things, again, I'm really happy about, because I've got some posts from international partners that really commended the government and the ministry and other partners for such a venture. It's not common in Africa. It's not common in Africa, by the way. Having, it's not just the money given to them, but the training they went through. Like, we spent, the UNFPA, the ministry, and UNDP spent like $60,000, went right across the country for us to do the selection. You know, they went right across the country at district level, regional level. At the end of the day, they got the finalists, came to Freetown, and we selected reputable Sierra Leoneans that did the selection to the finalists. And fortunately for them, His Excellency, as you heard from the presentation, as it pleased him, he said everybody that reached finals, they all should get their grant.
How is this livelihood support different from that of the Munafa support that is being given to business people across the country?
Munafa is a loan.
I know.
Munafa is a loan of a single, I guess it's a single-digit loan.
Yeah.
Single-digit loan. The difference between this and that of the Munafa, in the first place, Munafa, I'm not sure it's big enough to give one person like 80 million per person. And the number then, I think, is about 10,000. Yes, I mean, that I can confirm with the Ministry of Trade, because it's just a percentage of the Munafa fund that was allocated to the Ministry of, to young people. And it doesn't sit in the ministry, it sits with the Ministry of Trade. I think I need to confirm I need to do follow-up on that with the Ministry of Trade once I leave this place. So there is a huge difference. The grants that we are giving, it's a straight-up grant for young people. The 864 young people that will be receiving grants. I was in Maboka, by the way. I was in Maboka before the launch. I know young people say, when assaulted, they take a number, then take a names, them. At the end of the day, they're not giving nothing. The service provider that did the selection, IDHA, and collecting the number, training them, talking to them about this thing that they work. Until on the last day of the training, when they went to the training, they said, but how can you give us number? You collected our number. How can they pay us? And you remember His Excellency during Commonwealth, Samoa, I was in Samoa with the president, and he did make mention during the business forum that the lesser you use the transaction, cash transaction, the more you stand a chance of reducing corruption. And I took that from him, and that stick in my head. And when we came back, we went to IDHA to Rokel Commercial Bank. You heard about the Rokel SIM Copper. I saw the advert a few minutes ago. So, to Rokel SIM Copper, right in the hall, just by click of a button, everybody got the alert. And everybody got the alert in the hall, everybody was shouting. Then I told them there's a bank outside now waiting for cash out. So there was less cash transaction and all.
So, Orman, at this moment, help us understand what's happening with the Youth in Car Wash project.
The Youth in Car Wash project is one project that has to do with creating a space for those young individuals that society has ignored. You and I know very well that our laws has not been favorable in terms of getting alternative form of punishment. You can go to jail for stealing a cup, and they mix you with hard criminals. And it's also another way to enhance young people that believe in this whole process. Phoebe, I can tell you, when we were at Trabe College 10-15 years ago, by the bridge, you hardly find somebody that will stay there after 7-8 o'clock. But today, when you pass there at night, you meet over 200 or 100 keke bikes packed, because most of the young people living in those surroundings, do not have a space to park their bike. They come park their bike in the morning, they come collect them, and they give small thing. It's just that place. I remember I got this model from Ivory Coast, by the way. Ivory Coast, yes. When I was in opposition, I remember working with the current foreign affairs minister, and I saw this whole model. It's more standard than what we have, you know, that it should be like a place you can come and sit, get your drink, get your tea while they are washing your car. You can do some basic haircut, all of these things. That's the general thinking, that we should upgrade it to that level. But as it is now, it's a platform that creates the enabling environment for people, middle class, to have trust in the places where they take their cars. And I'll tell you, they are very conscious and passionate about stealing. You don't take your car to the car wash and get scared of what will happen. Go to a stand 17 or so, you know, you see the model they have there now. You have a lot of young people. Somebody will tell you, no, I've been like this, and we are all on salary, we are all on this. There are challenges though. But I mean, it all has to do with societal issue that you and I need to help and fix.
The initiative, as you've rightly mentioned, is one that is extremely brilliant. The one you just highlighted, stand 17 at Stadium, it's one amongst the ones that people say it continues to be extremely viable. But let's say Frabi College. The unfortunate thing is these sports are becoming a ground of drug peddling as we speak. It's becoming a ground wherein people do take the opportunity, seize the opportunity to peddle drugs amongst the young people who gather there on a daily basis.
I can agree.
I drove along that route at 1, 2 a.m. in the morning.
I agree with you. It has been very challenging. That very car wash and among other car wash have been shut down times with that number. Most times I stay very close to Fabi College. I go to these places at night, and when I got any suspicion of drugs, I would normally call the project manager, send police to say, shut it down for 1 week, 2 weeks, shut it down for 2-3 days. You understand? I agree, but it's an entire process. Again, I'll tell you, you can create the enabling environment. You can create all what it takes for young people to think that you have a chance. Yeah, but the onus is on us, on them again, to take leadership for their own destiny, to take pride for their own destiny. If government is creating, say for instance, the KKs, if government is creating an enabling environment for you to get, I will not be chasing you to say, yes, we have rules that you should not drink. We have rules that you should not be on drugs. And these are some of the criteria. If you have criminal records, you don't get. If you are, they test you on drugs, they realize that you are positive, you will not get. That's so many things set. But at the same time, there are laws. But at the same time, people break the law. That's why we have penalty for those that will break the law. So, I agree. You go to McKinney, by Kabbalah Road, it's another challenge. It's another challenge. I went there the other day. I met some boys. It wasn't good. Does that mean I should break the car wash and stop the entire process? No. You have good ones that do survive, that are making livelihood out of it.
I do patronize with them.
That's it.
It's like one of my favorite spots.
That's it. You can go there. So it all has to do with us all, how much we can talk to them. And there are so many challenges in life. And people think Sierra Leone might be, Sierra Leone, things are tough. I'll tell you with certainty, things are really tough globally. That's why most times, for instance, I was in London with the Bikers Union president, and the other day I was with him in New York. He was like, I took him to the train station, the subways, and he saw a lot of people lying down on the street and doing exercise. He said, Minister, they were on the streets and they sleep. I said, people in America, we don't get for sleep. A whole lot of them in New York. In London, I was with him in a store. Then you see these shoplifters. Some guys just came to the shop and left. Even the shop owner couldn't stop the shoplifters. They called police, and the police asked, what is it that they collected? XYZ. At the end of the day, we are there for over 20 minutes. Nobody could come to rescue. So all of these things, there are challenges all over. Go to countries like Kenya, Ghana. Now you have a whole lot. Imagine just on Saturday when His Excellency unveiled the steel factory. Thousands of young people have jobs. These are not things that are common globally. So it's a whole process. A lot of things have gone wrong for far too long, but I know very well there's America in Sierra Leone. It depends on how you work on it, how you perceive it.
You have another sector, another industry as part of your constituents, which is the creative industry, by nature of the fact that there are young people who found employment in that industry. Just yesterday, we had the Minister of Information and Civic Education who was talking about as well the significant impact of the work of musicians and filmmakers in, you know, image laundry and better representation of the nation. But music, film, it's a business.
Yeah.
And this is a category, a whole industry that is creating mass employment with limited barriers of entry for many people. In all of the programs you spoke about, which ones specifically speak to the creative industry, but especially film and music industry? Because their model of business is different from other models.
I agree. I have the responsibility to cater for every young person between the age of 15 to 35. But at the same time, as a ministry, I have a mandate. When you look at the mandate of the Ministry of Youth Affairs, it does not cover the sector you just made mention of.
But it covers young people.
Young people, yeah. But at the same time, when, like I make mention, if you go to a development partner now, you want to advocate for this industry, they'll check the mandate of the ministry. If it falls under Ministry of Tourism, they say, why not tourism? You know, I agree it's a sector that we need to boost, and it's one of the sectors that has a tendency to change. The biggest challenge that I'm facing as a minister, that is the mindset change.
And this takes us straight to the word we use, collaboration.
Yeah.
Young people are in your constituency. Now, between Ministry of Tourism and Ministry of Information, each of the ministries claim the music and film industry are under them. That's a separate conversation on its own.
100%.
But collaboration, as the minister in charge of young people, what's the level of collaboration in terms of, you know, opportunities for the young people, but in that industry?
So, yeah, it's a one government. It's a one government. And one thing His Excellency and the Chief Minister always emphasize on, it's collaboration. How much do you reach out to your colleague minister to ensure that young people that are within his or her own sector will benefit from the general good? I mean, I'm one person that I know, I have, all ministers are my friends, by the way. Either you are my uncle, you are my dad, or you are my friend, or you are my sister. You know, I mean, you heard about the tech summit that we did a couple of months ago, and myself and the Minister of Innovation, Salim Abba, we had very good relationship, and that was Nabila. She happens to be my aunt, by the way. But the honest truth is, I need to do more. I need to do more. I take responsibility. Like you make mention of the Munafa Fund, I'll pen that out. Just after here again, I'll reach out to her to see what is it that we need to do. We just have to do for them so that they will not feel left out. You know, there was a program, and hopefully under the Youth Empowerment Fund, I'll see the Minister of Finance, there's a budget being set for Youth Empowerment Fund. While we normally, there's a product under the Youth Empowerment Fund that caters for giving loan and micro-leasing to these industries. For instance, if Kao wants to launch a show, he needs money, we should be able to lend him, we sell the ticket, he pays back, and whatever comes out should be his. So, I mean, it's something we need to look at. It's something we need to look at. But again, it has to do with honesty and sincerity. Right. I always say this here. Politicians should be politicians. Musicians should be musicians. Entertainers should be entertainers. But when you are an entertainer, you want to play the role of a politician, then there will be a problem.
Why would that be a problem when all over the world, starting from the US to countries in Africa, Nigeria, South Africa, again, from the constitutional rights of every individual, they have the right to belong and participate in politics. Yeah. Entertainers are not preachers in church.
That's it.
What makes it wrong for entertainers to choose?
I didn't say it's wrong. I didn't say it's wrong.
No, but you know, the way you put it,
what I was trying to
if you're an entertainer, be an entertainer meddling with politics. Politics is part of entertainment. Entertainers are part of politics.
That was not my point. That was not my point, Fabian. The point I was trying to make is that when I give you support, let me support you as a government. You realize that most times when you give support to people, people think, oh, this is not becoming an SAPP. When they give you, perhaps you know they pay. That was the angle I was looking at it. I didn't say it's wrong for you to belong. I mean, I've seen it. We saw Beyonce, we saw Eminem, Obama singing song of Eminem during the just concluded election. We saw 50 Cent saying that, is it 50 Cent? No. Is it 50? Yes. That says, I don't want to go into politics and religion matter because I know when once you are in, the perception might be the same. That's not the point I'm making. That when we start a program of this nature, when I give it to you, you ensure that you pay back. If you don't pay back, when I go after you, you should not say because you belong to X and Y. Like I said, there is money in the 2025 budget that has been allocated under the Youth Empowerment Fund. I'm looking at certain sector in that budget. I want to empower single parent youth. I want to empower, including journalists, micro-leasing for equipment, like this equipment that you're using. If you're a young journalist, now the virgin ground about what we are doing, the current dispensation, is to ensure that you have more young people on tech, digital skills, and we'll have a
lot of bloggers. Imagine. With
very few content. Because when you blog, you should have following, you should have content. You don't just post for every Jack and Jill. Yeah? When you're trained to be a blogger, when you're trained to be a content producer, by the way, I recruited 10 content producers for, I give them contract for about three months, yeah? And the result is good. What I know is if we train this set of young people, we bring an expert to train bloggers, to train content producers, to train them on digital scale, that you can use your phone and make money. E-commerce, yeah? And if you produce good content, people will follow it. And by the time you reach a stage, like you heard from the chief minister and the other stakeholders saying, we want to add financial stuff to digital, to social media, so you'll be paid for what you get. So we want to see how we can scale up some of these things. And the fastest way of reaching out today is through those means. You know.
Another area collaboration is making the country lose money is with taxes. Taxes, yes, taxation. You have many young entrepreneurs in the country in different sectors who do not have proper tax education. So you find they're not paying taxes, not because they don't want to, but simply because that category of SMEs has not been reached out to get proper tax education on what to do. Those who are benefiting from these, the project you've put forward for young people, what's the level of collaboration with NRA, for example, to get these people who benefit to understand their responsibilities in the area of paying taxes?
Fibia, not let the young one first. Let the Lebanese, let talk back here. Let the big one, the company them comply first. The bobo them, that is small thing for us. Lord, let them scale up. Without, we can talk to them to get the awareness of tax, because they're supposed to pay tax.
So you're saying SMEs should not pay tax?
I didn't say so.
Because it's all part of BDS.
I didn't say so. I didn't say so. What I'm saying, we'll teach them. They try to comply, but at the same time, these are young people grown up. If you start taxing,
is that response only for the keke riders? Because my question is for all the projects.
Every entrepreneurs. If you have a mining company that is not tax compliance, if you have businesses down to date, Phoebe, and you can go to these stores, you go buy material, they're supposed to give you NIA receipts, they don't. Those companies are dealing with billions. If you tax, those taxes, those individuals, these Indians, these Lebanese, these NGOs, these pay withholding tax, pay GST, pay value-added tax, pay expert tax, let them comply. I didn't say young people should not comply, you understand? But I don't want to take an answer to Sierra Leoneans. I'll take that burden to ensure that young people pay. But I'll take the burden, if it please the NRA Commissioner, the Minister of Finance, to tell these Lebanese, to tell these mining companies that let them pay. For my young people, I'll ensure that we educate them on tax, what it takes. I mean, I don't want to put that burden on me. Let these Lebanese guys pay. Let these big business people pay. Let them comply. Yeah, and I know the tax loopholes. There are a whole lot of things that we're supposed to scale up. But for young people, young entrepreneurs, young starters, let them have the awareness that when they reach into middle age and middle class business, they'll pay. And by right, they're even supposed to pay when they are at the startup stage, but let the tax NRA people go enforce.
Because I wonder why the market sellers would have to pay their petty taxes they're paying buying tickets here and there, which is a form of tax, and then SMEs get an exemption from the tax.
So, but it's part of our manifesto as well, that if young people, if you're employing more young people, you'll be tax exempted. His Excellency, when you look at our manifesto, is there. So if you are tax exempted, Fabian, the majority of the population are young people. So what we are saying, democratically, young people should take ownership in every facet, from the presidency to ministerial level, to entrepreneurship, to business. Young people, if we want to do justice to democracy, young people should be at the aim of everything. Young people should be the highest taxpayers. Young people should be the highest number, to have the highest number of ministers. Young people should be president. Yeah? So what we are saying is that we have other areas. Mind you, it's an ecosystem. There are a whole lot we need to do. Let's do one thing at a time, and let's don't force the majority and know the key. Let's do it this way, the 20/80 principle. Let's focus on those 20% that has the bigger cake. Focus on them heavily, give them the necessary attention, and those young people, the 80% that are in the majority, that are looking for today, livelihood, scale up. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt and ask them to pay. I didn't say they should not pay, but let the NRA come do their job.
All right. We do have tons of messages on our Facebook page. We'd read out a few of them. Alfred Land says, Minister Orman Bangura, don't you think that 1,200 is huge for someone to pay weekly?
Mr. Dwazak says empowering young people is good because it will reduce the crime rates in the country. Just that many Sierra Leoneans are questioning the selection process, who conducted it and how far it was.
Mosdi is saying, don't be hesitant in saying that, Mr. Minister. This too much of political correctness is somehow becoming a counter to honest conversations. Yes, there are women that will like to take the adventure of going out to the sea for fishing purposes, but overwhelming majority will not choose that option, unless if it is the only way out. Thank God that's not the case.
Hosam Kontese is one of the trusted ministers in the government of President Bio, who has selflessly supported the youth ministry to succeed at its current peak through more needs to be done.
Momodu Bangura says, Mr. Minister, we need more skills work for the youths. Kush is busy killing the young generation.
Francis A. Bokari says it seems as if this government has no better plans for the future of Sierra Leone by not paying keen attention to the youth of the nation, by neglecting the priorities of empowering the youth and providing more employment and providing major employment to capture their minds.
Deco Amaya Tassal says, Mr. Minister, thanks for the job you're doing. Please, with the youths of Tumbo community, need these boats. But the problem is we do not know how to gain access to it. Please, Mr. Minister, help us, the youths of Tumbo community. We really appreciate you.
Hosam Conte says, most importantly, the kekes are distributed to youth of the nation. It doesn't mean how the selection or choice came in, and this is devoid of political affiliation, if to say.
Francis A. Bokari says, let this government turn the youth development responsibility back to the former organization, the President Youth Award Scheme, which actually has produced potential members of the nation today.
Momodu Bangura says, good morning, Samuel and Fabian. Kudos to the Minister, Orman Bangura. I hope this opportunity is for youth will not be politicized.
Abubakar Rashid says, Mr. Minister, do you think giving the kekes to these youths creates jobs? Why not having skills training centers to improve the skills of these youths?
Momodu Bangura says, Mr. Minister, we need more skills work for the youth. Kush is busy killing the young generation.
I think we'll just leave it at that and get your response to those messages.
Yes, thank you very much. Thanks to viewers and thanks to all those that listen and sent in their messages. I always tell people this, that when it comes to selection of beneficiaries youth, I do no politics. I don't care about the know-who. I'm more passionate about the know-how. It's as a result of that, most of the programs that we've been doing have been very successful. For people that are asking for gender, I mean, we are very gender sensitive. It's a must. I mean, the Degree Act is there, and the president, I mean, as always reminds us that we should do the needful to that act. It's a law. It's something that you don't meddle with. I mean, somebody asks if given kekes it's a job. I mean, I pity he doesn't know, even that individual. I doubt if he really knows what it takes for you to get 20 million grant, not to talk of something about 85 million, or it doesn't know what it takes for you to get. Yes, it's a grant. It's a great job. It's a way for you to live. You had the testimony from the young man that says, I've been a dropout. Now I have responsibility. My family has so much respect for me. I have my kids that are being taken care of out of this KK. So to me, it's really helps. So we didn't talk about so many things. We've done so many trainings. Even as I speak, if you go to Miltimagai now, you have a whole lot of young people that knows that has the skill about training, machining and other stuff, but do not have certificates. If you go there now, you meet a whole lot of them that are going through training that in Jala University, Miltimagai will be giving certificates, so that the employers, their employers will see them like, no, even though you have the skill, you have certificate. Because what has been the problem, you can be a plumber, but if you don't have certificate as a plumber, you find it very difficult to show that you are. If you go at the military mess now, we are doing a training there with support from UNDP and other partners. We are training female, 100% female, in male-dominated discipline. Yeah, and at the end of the day, NCTV will give them certificate. In terms of skills, if you go somewhere, I mean, there are a whole lot that we are doing. There's a Ministry of Technical and Higher Education. There's a whole lot. If you go, by the way, is it Shell? Technical. There's a whole big factory that have been almost completed with fully equipped to mantle and dismantle Japanese-made cars. Yeah, and that one will be commissioned in the next couple of months. Everything is there. I mean, it's a 20 million euro project that has got everything. So when we talk about skills, there's a whole lot that we've done, and because we didn't talk about that, including even the agriculture scheme that we are talking about, to say, if you're a graduate, we send you to the farm, we pay you for 1 year above 2 million. If they pay you for 1 year above 2 million, at the end of the day, you have all what it takes that to go start up your own farm, or you continue working in that farm. And we're also giving administrative support to big farms that will be ready to accommodate a lot of young people. Somebody's saying we are neglecting youth. I mean, I understand, but one thing I know, you can tell me what we've done for the past 10, 20 years, something that you can point out to say, this is what we've done for young people. Today, if not for anything, you can call me the young man that started the National Youth Service. If not for anything, you can call me the young man that, the car wash minister. And if not for anything, you can call me the young man that gave a 2 million grant. If not for anything, you can call me the Keke man. Somebody that created an enabling environment for female youth-led organization, devoid of where you find yourself, using the radical inclusion principle to say, when you're in the whatever village you find yourself, we as government, we're supposed to reach out to you and ensure that you reach out to your potential. And my sister, is my brother from Tumbo. Tumbo happens to be one of the beneficiaries from the previous 70 boats. I know they did very well. Western area, Orman Bangura, did excellent in terms of loan recovery. We ensure that they've got the bulk of these 50 boats that we're commissioning now. And politics and youth, I always say this, is that these current governments do not focus on designing projects for elections. It's as a result of that, you saw during His Excellency the President first term, our flagship program has to do with human capital development. Majority of the beneficiaries of human capital development, primary school, pay tuition fee for primary school, school feeding, and a whole lot that we did for the first time to support young people. Those young people did not vote in 2023, and most of them still getting support today. They will not be voting for 2028. What we are saying, our project, our focus is to ensure that we design project and program for generations, not for elections. So we are very focused about that. And the beauty is that we have a president that is so focused on nationalism, that somebody that has laid his life on the limelight to serve this country, and yet he has gone through all the orders of being a poor Sierra Leonean, help himself to become a president today. So he knows the story. He knows what it takes. He knows what we are going through. But at the same time, a lot of things has gone wrong for far too long. It's about us as Sierra Leonean knowing that whatever you get, that for argument's sake, let's say APC did everything for APC youth. SLPP do everything for SLPP youth. Then meaning there will be no youth struggling. But what we are saying, we should not, election to me, it's about 20 days. After 20 days, forget about election. Now you have a date for the next election. Young people will be judging this government based on targets, based on the manifesto, based on what we promised them. And that's the direction we are going. As you see, we are very focused. We keep our eye on the ball. By the way, again, by January, 8,000 young people will be getting empowerment that will be paid right across the year with a whole lot through the World Bank project that has been manned under the National Youth Commission, the National Youth Service. It's one again that I'm very proud of. What we are saying is that let's just work. Let's put Sierra Leone first. We know there will be time for politics. I know my dream. I know what I want to be. I want to be the biggest fisherman in Africa. Yeah. So politics is just one. I mean, we politicize even at home. Phoebe, you politicize this morning. You have 5 shoes. You have to do politics to select one. We politicize, but at the same time, let's develop ourselves. Think about Sierra Leone first, and to change the narrative of Sierra Leone.
That's one sector I wanted to ask. Personally, you're a farmer, a fish farmer. What sort of an impact has it created in the lives of the youth of this country?
You can't give me problem now. However, I have passion for farming, and it's about leadership by example. If young people could see the president goes to his farm every day and know that he has passion for it, and I'm doing it not because I want to make money, and I'm making money out of aquaculture. Prior to this time, nobody will say I have 5-ton fish. Even as I sit, I'm worried about the market now because companies that I'm supplying 1 ton per month, I mean, I want to scale up. I want to see how I can reach out. So what we are saying, it should be, in my own view, private sector driven with support from government. Governments will create the enabling environment, soft loan, single-digit loan. As you can see, the Minister of Agriculture is giving grants, and there is a loan given for rice farmers. So we want to see more loan for poultry. Our government could subsidize for poultry. Our government could subsidize for fish farmers. Our government could subsidize for a whole lot, yeah, and create loan facility, single-digit loan for farmers. We're entitled to de-risk some of this loan. So the beauty about when you're doing something, and at the same time, you are the aim of taking decision, you know the pain, you know the hustles, you know the challenges. So it's easy for you to take decision in that direction.
Lastly, from my end, Orman, as we're about to round up this session, we've had a lot of triggers that has led to the appointment of a lot of ambassadors. I mean, youth ambassadors in the country. I mean, some on peace, some on even, musician and all the rest. But we know most of them fall within the youthful category.
Youth ambassadors?
Yes, youth ambassadors.
Ambassadors?
Ambassadors, youth ambassadors.
Non-youth ambassadors?
No.
Yes, Vivian.
Ambassador of Peace, Ambassador of Peace, Entertainment and Investment.
That's it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes. But we are yet to see a well-coordinated synergy within that sector. Earlier on, Fabian mentioned entertainment and even those in the film industry. I think they happen to suffer the most. But even with these appointments, we had to see a well-coordinated synergy. What has been your role as the Minister of Youth Affairs? Because they are there also to entertain us. Who are,
yes,
yes.
Yes. I know the LAJ and the Cow Saga. I know when you're given opportunity to serve, you take responsibility. And I'm using this opportunity, the platform, to ask each and every individual, young Sierra Leonean that has been given the opportunity by His Excellency to serve, showcase so that His Excellency, the President, will not regret while giving you opportunity, while giving young people opportunity. So my little bite on that is that no matter what you do, no matter what you say, it's about cow, it's about LAJ, Yeah, those ambassadors you're talking about.
Most definitely.
His Excellency the President, in his wisdom, thinks, let me give them opportunity to serve. Don't you think, one, when you're young, you're in the position of trust. There should be no ego. When you're young, you're in the position of trust. You should put your guard down to say, for the sake of so many reasons, I will let go and think progress and think, how do you help Sierra Leone? When you're young, you're in position of trust. Peace ambassador, yeah, entertainment ambassadors, let go. Yeah, don't say, oh, because he said this. I've been slapped like 3 times. I've been molested so many times, not because I don't have the energy to act, but when you act, your voice, your actions go far away than the young individual or whatever the individual that you have that confrontation with. So what we are saying now, take this opportunity to talk to every young person. By the way, I'm the Dean of Cabinet. I've been the longest serving man that sits in one corner that has not been shaken. So out of experience, most times it's good for us to have this conversation. Phoebe and you and I have been to university. You know the Orman that will not let go. But today, Orman will let go 10 million times. The strongest man is not the man that can hit a cotton tree and break it with one blow. The strongest man, in my own view on earth, is that individual that has the tenacity, that has the calmness of controlling his or her emotions at the time of trials. When you are tested, when you are hit, calm down. Don't take decision when you are hurt. Don't take decision when you're hungry. Don't take decision because you think, just follow your emotions and say, let me do this. No. Take a break. Take a sip. Think of your kids. Think of your family. Think of the majority of the population that are looking up to you. If you go and read the cost mamikos, put video cost mamikos, you don't see the majority of them young people, they look at you, go fishing a good style for course. That's not good. So, I mean, on the entertainment, on the creative industry, on these young people that have been given the opportunity to serve, please, we have just one chance to save this country. And the only chance, the only opportunity we have now, it's now. Because it's only now, ever since the discovery of Sierra Leone, it's only now you have a youth bulge. You have more young people than ever before. When you have a youth turn, mind you, this population, there will be a youth turn. You have more ageable people in the long run than young people. So if you have a polluted, a negative radicalism sense of human beings on the U-turn, then definitely we're heading for doom instead of boom. So we ask that, show responsibility. When I say big man, not that no, that man will able to swallow in pride. Not so because you're not able to act. As a minister, as a peace ambassador, you have all the powers. As an entertainment ambassador, you have all the powers. But don't use 10% of your powers to exercise that power. You can use what you have to empower these young people, be a role model in society. But as a minister, you have all what it takes. You can call IG, call this. Don't. Let's go. Jimmy B will tell you. If you ask Jimmy B, he will tell you how many times I've intervened. Because most times I try and big brother, but then I talk to him, talk to this, because he's one person I have so much respect for. I'll normally call him to say, now this happened, talk to this, at the back end, you know. So in my own little bites, I think we should move that. I don't know why you dragged me to that sector.
Thank you so very much, Mohamed Orman Bangura. It's been a pleasure having you here this morning.